presentation. Welcome.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Okay. So today I'm going to introduce you to the MyOcean viewer. So it is accessible from the Copernicus Marine Service homepage. You just have to click on Ocean Visualization. So we offer 3 types of visualization tools: MyOcean Learn for the beginners, MyOcean Lite for intermediate users, and MyOceanPro for experts. And today we are going to talk about the latter, so we are going to explore it. So now we are on a map on which 2 default layers are displayed: the seawater velocity and the mass concentration of chlorophyll A in the seawater. On the map, you can move around. You can zoom in and zoom out by scrolling with your mouse. And you can change the projection when you use these 2 buttons. So you can choose the North Pole projection and the South Pole projection. With the bar at the bottom, you can change the date that is displayed. So right now we are seeing the data for the 4th of March, 2025. But if I click here, I'm changing the date. You see that the map was updated. And now I'm seeing the data for the 3rd of September, 2024. If you want to select a date more precisely, you just have to zoom in on the bar by scrolling with your mouse, and then you can select a date. And you can also use your keyboard arrows to change which day you want to display the data. And then you can reset the zoom. With the bar on the right, it's the same thing, but for the depths. So right now we are seeing the data at the sea surface level, but if I click here, you can see that the depth level to change the level. Okay, so the first thing we are going to do is choosing our own layer to display on the map. And to do that, you just have to click on Add Layer. So it opens the Copernicus Marine Data Store, in which there are 303 products. They are sorted in many categories. So the popular products, the product recently viewed, the new products that were added in the data store, and so many other categories. We are going to filter which product we want. So there are 2 ways to do that. First, you can type in a keyword. For example, if I type in temperature, I get 138 products that include temperature data. The other way to filter your search is by selecting the different parameters on the left. So you can choose the time range, the universe, the variables you want to observe, the area of interest, the temporal resolution, the source of the data, and so on. For this presentation, I'm going to select the global ocean as the area of interest, so that Africa is included. And for the variable of interest, I'm going to select the temperature. And now we are down to 29 products. Under each product, you have some information. So first you have the name of the product. Then you have the product ID, and you can copy it by clicking on it. You have the indication to know where the data come from, if they come from a numerical model or from satellite observations or in situ observations. You have the area covered by the product, so global, the spatial resolution, the temporal resolution, and the main variables present in the product. You have the possibility to add a product to your favorites by clicking on the star, and then you can retrieve the products in the favorites tab. Okay, so I'm going to click on the product's image, and it opens the description page of the product. And here you have a short overview that gives you the main information, general information about the product. You have the DOI, you have some use cases, and at the bottom you have the product's metadata. Under the description tab, you have the notifications. So here you have the latest news about the product. You have some general information, but you also have incident, improvement, and maintenance notifications. And if you want to learn more about a notification, you just have to click on it and read the details. Under the notification tabs, you have data access. So here you will find the list of all the data sets available in the product. And here you have the three methods available, the three services that you can use to download data from the product. So the subset service, the file service, and the map service. If you don't know about these services, you just have to click on these icons to read articles from our help center that explain how to use these services and how they work. And then you have contact. So if you have a question about the product, you can just click here and you will be talking with the user support. Before contacting us, if you're looking for an information about the product, I recommend reading the documentation. So there is the user manual, which is a technical document, or the quality information document, which is a scientific document. We also have a synthesis quality overview and a product quality dashboard. So check these documents before you will find what you're looking for. And if you want to see the evolution of the product, you can check the roadmap here. So I'm going to use these products for the presentation. I click on Add to Map. So first, you can see that I have all the layers that are relevant to the temperature, because this is the filter I've selected. But if you want to see the other layers, you click on All Layer, and they are here. Okay, I'm going to add this layer because it is the seawater potential temperature, and it is daily data. So this is why I want what I want. I click on Add to Map. You can see that it was added on the map. All right, so we are going to focus on the functionalities on the left. So the first thing I want to show you is that you can hide or show a layer by clicking on the eye icon. And you can also change the layer's priority. So to do that, you click on a layer, you hold it, and you put it above the other, just like that. And you can delete a layer by clicking on the cross here. So for each layer, you have several functionalities. So with this icon here, you can retrieve the information we saw before. With this button, you can select other layers from the same product. So if I want, I can choose the seawater potential temperature in a 6-hourly resolution. And with this button, with this gear icon, you can customize your layer. So you can change its opacity. You can change its color. You can invert the color map with this button. With this button, you can contrast your map. So you see here you have the thresholds. You just have to select which level you want, depending on what contrast you want on your map. You can change the minimum and maximum values on your map. So for example, if I say that I want the maximum value to be 15 instead of 30, and I click on enter, you can see that the scale has changed, and so has the map. Yes, and with this button, you can mask the outliers. So if I click, you can see that all the values above 15 were removed from the map. All right, and with the auto button, you can automatically increase the contrast. So I'm going to show you how it works. So it analyzes the data that are currently visualized on the screen, and it selects the suitable minimum and maximum values, just like that. With some layers, there are more options, and this is the case for the seawater velocity. So there is the possibility to wait. Okay, so there is the possibility to enable the log scale with this button, like this. And in the gear icon, there is the style option. So right now, the solid style is displayed, but if I want, I can display the solid and the particles. So now you see, I'm going to zoom in. We can see movements on our map. This is the direction of the seawater. If you don't want movements on your map, you can select vectors instead, and you can see that there are arrows that are indicating the direction of the current. You can also remove the solid style, and then you can have the seawater potential temperature layer, and above that you have the particles that are indicating the direction of the current. All right. Now we are going to see the functions on the right. So with MyOcean Viewer, you can create objects. So you can create points. You can create lines. And you can create areas like this. You can see that for each object, graphics were created. So you can maximize them if you want to see them better. And then you can adjust the axes for each graphic. So you can change the start date or the end date. And then you can export the graphics to 3 formats: the NetCDF format, the CSV, and the SVG format. If you want, you can add more graphics like that. And you can delete it with remove graph. With the objects, you have the possibility to group them so that you can compare them. I'm going to show you. You just have to click on a graphic and put it above another one. And then you have A and B, so the 2 objects, and you can compare them on the graphics. You can see here. To ungroup them, you just have to click here. Okay. Yes, and to close an object, you just have to click on the cross of the graphic. Okay. Under the 3 objects, you have the import button. So with this button, you can import geometries. So geometries can be imported in the well-known text format, in the JSON format, and in the shapefile format. There are also presets that are available. So these are geometries that were also already configured for the viewer. So for example, if I click here and then import, I have an area that was an object that was already created. Then you can add a graph and work with your geometry. In the import button, you also have the recent tab so that you can retrieve your work even if you close the window. So you can see all the geometries I've already imported in MyOcean Viewer. Okay. Under the import button, you have the settings. So in the settings, you can log in or log out from your account. You can change the way you want to display the map. You can show toponyms to have the name of the marine areas. You can change the projection. You can show additional graphic statistics on the graphics. You can change the object units. So there are many possibilities that I will let you explore on your own. Once you're done working, you may want to download the data you've worked with. So to do that, you just have to click on this download icon. So you have to enter the geographic area for the data you want to download. So you can do that manually, but you can also use the Define on Map button. So I'm going to show you how it works. The first thing you can do is draw a shape, and you see that the geographical coordinates were automatically written here. Or the other way you can use the Define on Map button is by selecting an object you've created just before, like this, and you see that the geographical coordinates were entered. When you have a complex shape for your object, for example, a triangle is a complex shape, you need to note that this is not the data inside of the triangle that is going to be downloaded, but rather the data inside of this square. Okay. Then for the date range, it's the same thing. You either enter the dates manually, or you can click on As in Map. So I'm going to change the end date. I change the date, and then I click on As in Map, and you can see that the end date was changed. Same thing for the depths. I'm going to change the level, click on As in Map, and it was changed here. So once you're done writing the wrap parameters for the data you want to download, you just have to click on this download button. Sometimes you will see that if the data is too big, you will get this message: too large subset, try reducing it or use other download services. So first, yes, you can reduce your request for the data, but if you don't want to, you can use the browse files. So with the browse files, you can download data as originally delivered by the producers. So you just have to select a year, a month, and then you download a day of data, because I'm using a daily data set. You need to know that one file will contain the whole geographic area, all the variables of the data sets, and all the depth level for one day. The other way to download your data, if it is too big, is to click on the Automate button. And then you just have to copy the request for the command line interface like this, or the Python API, and use it with the Copernicus Marine Toolbox. If you don't know about the toolbox, we have articles in our help center that you can read, but I'm also presenting this tool on Wednesday. So yeah. You can also share your work by clicking on this button. So first you can create a link that will include all the layers, all the objects, all the graphics you've created. You just have to copy it like this. You can create an image. You can add or remove the legends and the time and date caption. You can download the image or share it. You can generate a video. So you choose the start date, the end date, the duration of the video. It can be in the MP4 format, or it can be a GIF. And then you just have to click here. And finally, you can create a named link so that you can include the map and its functionalities in a website. On the viewer, there are many shortcuts available, so you can discover them here. So there are many shortcuts. I'm not going to show you all of them, but for example, with the Z letter, you can remove all the tabs so that you can see your screen more clearly. And if you have a question, you just have to click here. So this open this window. First, I recommend you to click on Help, and then type what you want answers for. For example, if I type in MyOceanPro, I get many articles about it. If I click on Introduction to the MyOceanPro viewer, I have an article that gives you all the information I told you during this presentation. But if you don't find your answers in our articles, you just have to click on Messages, then ask a question. So first you will be talking with Blue, our AI chatbot, but if its answers are not satisfying, or if you really need to talk with a human, you will have the option to click on Talk to a Person, and then you will be discussing with a member of the user support team. All right, I'm done with the presentation now. Thank you for your attention, and don't hesitate if you have a question.
Thanks a lot, Leila, for your presentation. So really nice demonstration as always. We have a few questions for you.
Yes.
So the first question being, can students use your online simulator for personal activities?
Yes, of course you can. It's free to use, so use it as you wish.
Is it? Oh, it was a little slow. What tools and methods are used to advance and carry out ocean forecasting activities except MyOcean software?
What tools and methods? If it is to download forecasting data, we have many tools. So we have the file browser that I showed, the toolbox that I will present on Wednesday. But if you want to visualize the data, forecast data, MyOcean Viewer is the only tool you can use.
Yeah, maybe like we use numerical models also to satellites data to validate models data. I'm not sure that was the question, but yeah.
Yes, I'm not sure about the question either. I'm not sure. But if I didn't answer your question correctly, don't hesitate to chat with us.
So about the catalog, do you have data of marine currents in the Mediterranean, especially in the Algeria region?
Yes, we do. I think you can check in the data store. And if you don't find the data, come talk to us. But I really think that we have this kind of data.
Yeah, in the Mediterranean Sea, I
Yes.
think. I
Yes,
think
we have products, especially for the Mediterranean Sea.
A more open question. Can you guide us about the best software to use and how to learn fast?
Okay.
I think like
what?
I would say like it's a question about like Python or RStudio or something like that.
Ah, okay. So the best software to use, I don't know what you want to do, so it all depends on what you're working on. But we have articles that will help you on how to use Python, R, Julia, to download the data, visualize them. So you can check our help center.
It's a lot. Okay. I am doing remote sensing for water quality monitoring. Do you have any online in-situ data for model validation purposes?
Yes, we have in-situ data. You can check in our data store. On the left, you have the option to you select in-situ, and you will have in-situ products only.
Exactly. Thanks a lot. So this question, is it possible to retrieve the numerical data?
Numerical?
I would say just to download the data. That's how I understand
Yes.
the question.
Yes, of course. I showed you how to download data from the MyOcean Viewer, but you can use the file browser and the toolbox.
Thanks a lot. And yeah, for the toolbox, so you can come
Wednesday
to have the
Yes.
demonstration by Leila also.
I will show you how to download data with it.
How do you know what the time units are when you download the data?
So if you download the data from the MyOcean Viewer, on the graphics, you will see the time units. How do you know what the time units are? It just depends on the data set you are selecting. So based on the data sets, you will know what's the time units.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, so all of the information are written on the project. Does the evolution of the data layer have to do with correction? What kind of correction? And when do these corrections occur?
So the evolution of a layer of a product depends on it's for correction sometimes, but it can be for improvement. Sometimes the spatial resolution is improved, and some improvements can be done because some users requested it. So these corrections occur. It depends. It's not always regular, but there are updates several times a year for the products. You
Thanks a
can
lot.
check how is it called? The product roadmap. If you check the product roadmap, you can see which products were improved, what were the changes. So yes.
Thanks a lot. So yeah, we have time for like one or two more questions. So great use of the API. Is it free? And if it's the case, how long can we use it in our project?
It is free and you can use it whenever you want, for how long you want.
Exactly. Thanks. So what is the best resolution I can get from my ocean data viewer?
Oh, I don't know. I would have to check.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I would say the smallest resolution is like 1% of a degree, something like that.
Yes, I think, but I'm not sure. But you can check on the viewer or ask us through our chat. But I think Gael is right.
And okay, so one last question for your presentation. Are there available variables only the one in the left windows under main variables, or are there some more that you can search for in the free text search engine?
Yes, there are more variables, but the variables on the left were the the most used variables, but there are many more variables. If you explore the products and the data sets, you will see that.
Okay, good to know.
Mhm.
Thanks again, Leila, for the presentation, demonstration, and the Q&A. So as usual, I will put on the side unanswered questions.